Hello and welcome to News on the Twos. I'm Emily Owsley.
And I'm Megan McMahon. Here on News on the Twos, we bring you up to speed on local, regional, and national news. This OCU newscast provides the information you want to hear first from students at your very own university. You may remember the building on the corner of 23rd and Virginia as the OCU Boutique, but once renovations are complete, it will open later this month as a restaurant called Rehearsals. The restaurant is being operated by Sodexo, and campus officials tell us it's a partnership. OCU owns the property and has leased the building to Sodexo. As part of the lease agreement, Sodexo required the university to agree to serve beer and wine. Also, students will be able to purchase food and alcohol in the restaurant with their STARS cash. But serving alcohol at this restaurant could present problems. To explain some of the conflicts surrounding the new business, we're joined now by News on the Twos' Haley Holloway. Haley, we hear some students are confused.
That's right, Megan, and we're hoping to clear up some of the confusion about whether or not the restaurant is technically on campus. Because as a private Methodist university, OCU has very clear rules regarding alcohol being present on campus. So if Rehearsals is on campus, there could be an issue with the restaurant violating OCU's policy. You can see on the university's campus map that the building, still labeled as a boutique, is represented as a part of OCU's campus. We talked to Dr. Rick Hall, Vice President of Student Affairs, who claims that the building is not on campus. We asked him why that's the case, because the building is owned by the university, is adjacent to campus, and has a physical address on the campus map. But Dr. Hall argues that those details are irrelevant.
We may disagree on what's on campus and what's off campus, but one of us gets to win.
OCU's student handbook says that the use of alcohol diminishes the integrity of the institution, and it is the intent of the university to educate and encourage students to abstain from alcohol. But Dr. Hall says it's a personal choice.
Alcohol service is a part of our culture. It's a decision you have to make as a student about whether you drink it or not.
But the student handbook's rules are pretty specific. It's not a personal choice when you're on campus. Any students found using alcohol on campus can face disciplinary action by the administration. Dr. Hall says that means it's all about where you're drinking.
So responsible use is not against the rules of the institution. Where you use it does.
Which brings us back to the issue of whether Rehearsals is on campus or not. You can imagine what the reaction would be like if you could buy alcohol here in Alvin's. But Alvin's is in the middle of campus while Rehearsals will be on the outside edge. That seems to be the reason the campus rules don't apply. However, the university is aware that there might be a discrepancy, but they think the potential benefits of having the restaurant justify their position. OCU President Robert Henry said philosophically,
Emerson said a foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of small minds. We're trying to be consistent, but we're not trying to be foolishly consistent.
OCU is set to profit 10% from the restaurant's gross sales, which means OCU will essentially be making money off of the sale of alcohol. Because of the integrity of the institution wording in the handbook, we asked why the Board of Trustees would allow alcohol service and profit in light of university policy and Methodist ties.
That's really a decision that Sodexo has made. We're not going to stop it because we want it to be a successful establishment adjacent to the campus.
Several trustees told us that they were made aware of the restaurant, but the administration did not ask for the board to vote because it was deemed an administrative decision. We are now joined live on the set by the president of OCU Student Government Association, Robin Ladd. Robin, thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us today. We're excited to have you on the set.
Thank you for having me.
We understand that you were not a member of the Board of Trustees when this was all kind of taking place, but you do sit on it now,
yes,
correct?
I do.
So help us to understand, is this the kind of decision that the Board of Trustees would typically be involved in?
It wouldn't be. It would be more of an internal process. I think that's one of the things that possibly could be explained. The board is brought in on larger decisions. For instance, when we decided to purchase the law school downtown, that was something I got to be a part of. It was something that went on for the future of the university. But this is more of an internal matter, and that's why it was passed over to Dr. Hall. And it makes sense. He's student affairs, and a part of that is food service. So it would make sense for him to take care of it rather than taking it to the board.
Okay. We touched on a little bit about how the handbook says that alcohol diminishes the integrity of our institution. Do you feel like, since in this instance we are going to be profiting off of the sale of alcohol, in your opinion, does that diminish our integrity as a school?
Well, I feel that rehearsals is kind of a catalyst for change. I think that the university is kind of making a turnaround, and that's how I've decided to view it. I think that it's a great idea, and sometimes an action must be taken before the words are kind of fitting that. For instance, in the 60s, you had to have sit-ins before everyone said, okay, maybe we should look at the rules a little bit and let's see what's going on. So for me, rehearsals is a good idea. I don't necessarily think that that will stand as time progresses.
So are you thinking that this is kind of the first step to having alcohol on OCU's campus?
I do. I do think it's the first step in a policy change in certain spots. I don't foresee it, going into dorms or being allowed in the external fraternity houses, but I do think eventually that the university will allow alcohol in certain places.
Do you think that it is time to go ahead and make that policy change, since rehearsals is opening this month? So we're already kind of pushing that boundary of whether or not we need to revisit our policy. Is it time to make it now or wait and see what happens?
Absolutely. I do think that the policy should definitely be reviewed and looked at immediately. This is really a way of us saying, okay, we've done this, let's examine the rules now, let's look at it. Is this the best thing for our students? Is this what we want to do? So,
have any of OCU's students kind of come to you as our voice and said, hey, I'm confused about this, what's going on? Have you heard any of that?
Right. I was actually in class once and I had to explain to several students, okay, students' money is not going towards the restaurant. There was a lot of confusion about that. Sodexo is paying the university for that, so student dollars are not going to fund this new operation. Although it was a part of, student concerns. We said we wanted a new eating venue, we wanted somewhere to be, we wanted somewhere else to eat. We get tired of Alvin's in the caf all the time. So they decided to do that for students, but students' funds don't go to that directly.
So since students are confused, do you think it's time to maybe have an open conversation between our administration, who's basically making this decision for us, and the students that are kind of saying, what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, an opportunity like that will be presented. March 12th, the Senate branch of SGA will be hosting a cake and meet at 8 p.m. in the Great Hall. There will be administrators present, including Dr. Hall, and students are more than encouraged to attend and ask the questions.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you coming and voicing your opinion as the voice of the student body. We could not be more grateful to have you in here.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the set. Emily, back to you.
Thank you so much, Haley and Robin. When we come back, News on the Two's Rachel Morse will be here talking about a new program at OCU that hopes to prevent tragedies here on campus.
OCU is smart, fun, cute, driven, so busy, expressive, exciting. But you know this, you go here.
Starcy's a great mascot. He's very enthusiastic. Sometimes his animal instinct takes over, though.
what is happening. What? I mean, what is he doing?
Watch OCU Sideline. It just makes sense.
Chet is a 21-year-old college student. Luther is an 11-year-old fifth grader. Chet likes to play frisbee. Luther prefers video games. Chet likes to eat an apple for breakfast. Luther likes to eat sugary cereal. Chet has a girlfriend. Luther thinks girls have cooties. Chet is Luther's big brother. Hundreds of kids are waiting on you to become their big brother or big sister. Contact Big Brothers Big Sisters of Oklahoma today to learn how you can make a difference.
We have all been in that moment where finding the right library book is about as easy as rocket science. But it's not rocket science, it's the Dewey Decimal System. And as we try to decipher that mysterious code, it becomes obvious that rocket science is cake compared to this. Here at Delaney Brown Library, we have knowledgeable and helpful staff to make your search a little easier, whose primary goal is to make your visit as convenient as possible. It's so easy you'll be shooting off towards the stars in no time. Delaney Brown Library, your final frontier is only one question away.
OCU is enlightening. OCU is rigorous.
No, wait, I can do it! OCU is what you make of it, but for me, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, this is a private party. OCU students only. You understand.
You're watching OCU TV.
There has been plenty of talk on campus as students received last week's email about the increase of tuition. The email came from President Henry, and News on the 2's Meg McMahon tells us how the new prices will be different for some students than for others.
Starting next year, for current students, your tuition is going up 1%, which will mean about $200 a year. But for new freshmen, it's going to cost about $1,200 more.
Students continue to wonder exactly what goes on behind the walls of this building that is causing tuition to once again increase.
So we checked in with the administration to see what the reason for the price hike is.
Obviously, to keep up with increasing things like increasing energy bills, increasing gas bills, those types of things, just to basically keep up with inflation, there had to be some sort of a tuition increase.
But with a beautiful campus and small classrooms, some say OCU is well worth its rather high tuition rate, while others are still baffled about where all the money seems to go.
I feel like we are always looking for some way to get money, and increasing it, I think, is just a bit unfair.
But our tuition is already so high here, and we expect that. But to raise it year after year, it's going to get to a point where it's just ridiculous and unaffordable for any normal student.
The Budget Committee says they did their best on being conservative with the increases for next year, but they were unable to say whether or not there were future plans for tuition to go up again later.
The Budget Committee says student fees and housing costs will remain the same. Tuition for transfer students will also be going up about $200 a year.
If you are a part of the Chickasaw Nation and an undergrad student, there's a new scholarship you can apply for. It's the Chickasaw Nation Native American Business Scholar Academy Scholarship. It is specifically for students studying business and software engineering. Up to 10 students are eligible to receive as much as a full ride to the university. For more information, you can contact OCU's Communication and Marketing Department.
Now joining us, we have News on the Twos, Rachel Morse. Rachel, you've been following the development of a new university program, and that's intended to prevent violence on campus, right?
Absolutely, Emily, and it's still in the works. But what the Dean's Office is hoping to implement is a behavior intervention program that will provide a centralized location to report concerning behavior. Now, headline shootings over the years have led to many universities adopting programs like this. Students with concerns would access the behavior intervention site, indicate the behavior they observed, and write out exactly what happened. The report can be filled out anonymously. Now, Liz Donnelly, Dean of Students, said the behavior intervention team will review concerning behavior with a nationally recognized threat assessment tool. But she said it's the responsibility of the campus community to actually file the report.
A BIT procedure does is try to encourage what they call a culture of reporting, so that people take ownership over what they see, and if they're concerned, they take action.
Now, Emily, Donnelly said that the site should be up and running by the end of the semester.
So, Rachel, how does the university plan on getting this program, the word out about this program?
Well, what Donnelly told me is that what they want to start doing is training faculty and staff on the BIT program over the next semester, and then they'll start introducing students to it at next fall student orientation and later to campus organizations. But right now, it's still a pilot program.
All right. Thanks so much, Rachel. Oklahoma City University's Delta Delta chapter of Alpha Phi is a qualifier for the organization's highest national award, the Order of the Lamp. The chapter will find out if they win the award during the summer of 2014. The women of the fraternity also won the overall Chapter of Excellence Award for the South Central region.
I'm going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Aaron Andrews and 50 Cent caught locking lips. We'll give you the scoop on the Hollywood highlights.
OCU is that open shot to a winning goal.
Countless rehearsals for one flawless routine.
Learning to serve before trying to lead.
Learning a language everyone can understand. OCU is
me.
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 I'm OCU.
I don't work a 9 to 5, but I have a job to do. I don't wear a tie, but I still wear a suit in my court.
My field of work isn't average, and my time around the water cooler is limited.
I work overtime, but the payoff is worth it.
I don't work a 9 to 5, but I have a job to do. I'm an OCU athlete.
I'm an OCU athlete.
I'm an OCU athlete.
I'm an OCU athlete.
At first it was twice a week. Everybody else was doing it. And one day I just did it all by myself. Now I can't stop.
It makes me feel powerful, you know? Like I can do anything.
It's the ultimate rush.
And every time feels like the first time.
Yeah, it does. You're not alone. It's okay. We've all been there.
My name is Brandon, and I'm hooked on service leadership.
Take the steps to living a better life by volunteering today.
Feels so good to finally say it. I love helping other people. Yeah!
Get motivated, get involved, get hooked on service leadership.
OCU is family. OCU is diverse.
OCU is passionate. OCU is active.
OCU is visionary.
OCU is creative. OCU is tradition.
OCU is my
my school.
My school.
My school. OCU is my school.
Is my school.
OCU is my school.
Well, it's news on the twos for your viewing pleasure. Sports, reports, and even the weather. News you want to hear, so lend an ear. These great reporters make the story clear. If you're a star or just love OCU, then Channel 22 is meant for you. Cause our school is great, it's plain to see. So tune in to OCU TV. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Cause news on the twos is the way to go. Well, that's all from me, and I'll take a bow. Cause news on the twos starts right now.
Welcome back to News on the Twos. Now for some Hollywood highlights. Heidi Klum will be joining the America's Got Talent crew. Taping for the new season began on Monday. She tweeted, excited to join Howard Stern, Howie Mandel, Mel B, and Nick Cannon on NBC's America's Got Talent as a new judge. Will be so fun. Can't wait to see the dynamics of the new judging panel. Last week at the Daytona 500, Erin Andrews and 50 Cent engaged in an awkward encounter while trying to get an interview from Danica Patrick. While all of this was happening, she was hearing in her ear that she had 30 seconds to get the interview. Now Andrews is coming out saying the kiss was her fault. She said to TMZ journalist that she panicked and jerked her head away awkwardly. Andrews also said that they are business partners and said nothing negative towards his character. The long-awaited Oz, the Great and Powerful opens Friday, starring James Franco, Mila Kunis, Rachel Weisz, and several other big names. But the big question everyone is asking is who will be playing the Wicked Witch of the West. There is speculation Weisz will take on the role, but until tomorrow, we will have to wait and see which surprise director Sam Raimi throws at us. The Harlem Shake is the new dance craze to cross the world. But the most shocking video lately is the Miami Heat taking part in it. LeBron James leads the video dressed as a king and showing off his dance moves. Chris Bosh also makes an appearance dressed as a cowboy with a boombox on his shoulder. I can't wait to see what's next. Maybe the Thunder will show off their skills next. Who knows? But I understand that we're about to get a little history lesson on where the Harlem Shake came from, right, Megan?
You're absolutely right, Emily. As you said, one of the most viral videos streaming the internet has not just caught people's attention locally, but internationally. News on the Twos' Jay Howard gives us the skinny on where the Harlem Shake came from.
The big question about the Harlem Shake is, where did it start, let alone who created it? After the first video uploaded a few weeks ago, there have been schools, teams, and even organizations making their own version of the Harlem Shake. But what many don't know is that the Harlem Shake is just a shaking of your upper body. Even Oklahoma City University had a Harlem Shake of their own in their very own cafeteria. With the origin now known, the credit goes to the music producer Bauer for creating the song and adding in the lyric, "Do the Harlem Shake when you're supposed to go wild." Jay Howard, News on the Twos.
Did you get to take part in the Harlem Shake in the caf that day?
Unfortunately, I was not there, but I wish I could say that I was part of that.
Oh, well, I definitely was. I was dancing on top of a table. It was really fun.
Very jealous. Thanks for watching News on the Twos.
We'll see you next time, OCU.